Well, former Mayor Heidi Lube posted this lengthy letter on her website Tuesday, announcing her resignation immediately. She alleges government infighting and an investigation involving complaints against her as reasons for her departure. She cited multiple issues, mainly conflicting dynamics within city government between herself, other councilors, and staff. Now, her resignation came as a surprise to many people who work and live in Tigard. Lube has not responded to our interview request, and a Tigard city spokesperson tells us no one from the city, including councilors, are doing interviews today. Council President Maureen Wolf will now serve as mayor in the meantime. Here she is during last night's council meeting.
I do want to announce before we begin that Mayor Lube has submitted her resignation to myself as council president and to city manager Brent Stockwell. I do want you to know that the council accepts that. I accept that letter of resignation with a heavy heart.
Lube was elected in 2022 and her term was set to expire in December 2026. But let's get back to that letter she posted online announcing her resignation. She wrote, throughout her time as mayor, her mental and physical health have deteriorated. And she says she's not alone, adding, as I've shared my struggles with other mayors, it's clear that this is all too common, especially for female mayors. She says that an investigation was opened after complaints were filed against her, which she says came after she reported another councilor for crossing a line. That councilor sent Lube this text, which Lube attached at the end of her letter, asking how much she paid another councilor to say something nice about her during a council meeting. A few days later, Lube withdrew her complaint about this, saying it had been resolved. Lube alleged that complaints were made against her when she tried to hold staff accountable for mistakes or when she, quote, stood up for the community. She wrote that the city is a broken system where staffers push their own agendas on elected officials. She said staff were allegedly caught sending emails from her email address with her name on them without her ever seeing or approving them. Lube went on, writing, from the outside, the Tigard City Council has looked like a functioning body, but behind the scenes has been unraveling into cliques, power struggles, petty fighting, and goals of destruction. I'm not a perfect person, and I vented to people in places I probably shouldn't have, and I own that. I also own that trying to juggle being a mayor, a mom, having a career to be able to afford living here, and be a wife and a friend has been extremely challenging. I've spent the last year or so wondering every day what is going to come at me from the councilor staff. It's impacted my family, friends, and mental and physical health. It's been exhausting and demoralizing.
It's definitely a bit of a bummer. I've got, a relationship with a lot of the various city officials. The mayor's a customer here, so we get to see her. She's been really supportive since we started here. So
that's Chris Cholin. He owns this brewery on Southwest Main Street, downtown Tigard. He's also on the Town Center Advisory Commission. He says something he's always appreciated about Lube was how she supported small businesses like his.
To lose a supporter, at the mayor's office or at the city is definitely just a bummer. You don't know who's coming next, and you don't know kind of what their feelings are on small business.
Now, he says he's worked closely with city staff and that he had no idea the alleged infighting among them was as bad as described in Lube's resignation letter.
Just surprised, didn't necessarily see that coming. I don't think that city council in a small town is a lot of really experienced people that know how to get where they're trying to go. So I think it's a lot of a growing pain trying to get your feet under you as a public official and some of that stuff. So
a City of Tigard spokesperson says in a statement, at the City of Tigard, we are committed to ensuring a respectful workplace for everyone, where all people are treated with dignity and conflicts are addressed constructively. We work to cultivate an inclusive culture that celebrates diverse opinions and experiences, honest dialogue, and mutual trust. Now, others who live in Tigard that we caught up with today say they still have a lot of unanswered questions.
Just very surprised, curious. No, I don't think anybody was prepared for it. Just what happened? Why? I had never really heard any controversy, so.
bring the resolution.
Again, Council President Wolf will serve as Tigard's mayor in the interim. On September 23rd, Council will discuss appointing a new mayor. Now, this is far from the end of this story, because if we circle back to that investigation against former Mayor Lube, she expects the findings to be released to the public at some point, writing the report findings will inevitably come out, whether if it's released by the DA or from counselors talking. Despite advice against participating, I had hoped that truth and fairness was the goal. Since then, steps made by the city and the investigator have not been with the search of truth and fairness, but with the assumption of guilt and a goal of punishment.
I wish her all of the best because she's got a small child, and the truth is being with that kid's probably going to be more rewarding than getting beat up as a public official.
Okay, so what do you think about all of this, especially you Tigard residents? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090.